Welcome to the Survive Scale Soar podcast. Hear and learn through the success of others how to build the life and business you deserve. Learn to overcome failure, what it means to seek out growth, and how to become the best possible version of yourself. And now, here's your host, coach, entrepreneur, husband and father, and author of the #1 best-selling book, Survive Scale Soar, Jeremy Williams.
And welcome back to the Survive Scale Soar podcast. I'm your host, Jeremy, and I'm also the owner of Red Hawk Coaching, a coaching services company that provides coaching for real estate agents, real estate team leads, real estate brokers, and small business owners. Quick reminder, this show comes in two formats: Real Talk, which is just me and the mic sharing what's happening in our world today and how that can impact your business, and Success Talks. This is where I get to interview some of the top people in their respected industries, and they share with you what has made them successful in their journey. Today is a Real Talk, and the topic is AI, artificial intelligence. It's been in the news lately, been in the news a lot lately, and is definitely something that we want to keep our eye on as a business owner. And if you're listening today and you're not a business owner and you're in the workforce, definitely want to keep an eye on this topic as well. So yesterday I got to have lunch with my pastor, Clint Wiley. He's the pastor of the Vine service, a contemporary service at Kingwood Methodist Church here in Kingwood, Texas. If you're listening to the show and you're in the area, would ever like to attend, I encourage you to take a look at the website to find the times that are available to come hear Clint preach. And we got onto the topic. We were having barbecue, first of all. I love barbecue. If you follow me, you know that I love barbecue. So yesterday we went to Firecraft here in Kingwood, Texas. David Welch is the executive chef there, and his team, they put together some amazing barbecue and sides. I had Dirty Mac, which was a mac and cheese that had brisket in it as well. So I kind of double dipped on the brisket yesterday, paying for it today. Need to hop on the Peloton and put in some miles, but I digress. So Clint and I are sitting there talking. We're having a great conversation, and the topic of AI came up, and we're talking about how is that impacting churches and sermons, and his wife's an English teacher. How's that impacting teaching? And, through that conversation, the biggest takeaway I had when we got to the end of that is, yes, we need to be concerned. We need to be focused on, protecting ourselves from the potential capabilities AI might have in the future. There are some good things about it as well, especially in the areas of medicine and research. And, it's kind of amazing, when you hear the founder of ChatGPT, Sam Altman, come out in the last few days, coming to Congress and saying, hey, we need to have some government regulation. This is a guy asking for regulation on a product that he's creating because of the power that's in it, and the power that it has is controlled by those that are programming it. And I'll touch on that a little bit today. Yet at the end of that conversation, what I pulled from it was a point that was made that there's going to be a time, and I think in the not so distant future, where there's going to be a lot of things that are putting out there content. Is this really Jeremy putting out content for the Survive Scale Soar podcast, or is he utilizing AI to do that? All these blog posts that are out there that are providing, content. A lot of people in the coaching industry, I note that they're probably using AI. I can just tell in the way that they're writing and knowing them well enough that it doesn't really, their writing styles don't match up. So I know there's something going on there, but I think there's going to be a time in the not so near future where the consumer is going to start asking themselves a lot of questions. They're going to be asking for evidence. They're going to be asking for proof. They're going to be looking for things that are real and authentic. And I truly believe that's going to be the case, that there's going to be whatever industry you're in, whether it's real estate or, I coach a salon and a company that rents boats on Lake Conroe, whatever the business that you're in and the service you're providing or a product that you're providing to the consumer, is that there's going to be a point where the consumer wants to know that the experience is real, that it's authentic. If you're in the service industry, that you're a person of your word, that when you say you're going to show up at a particular time, you show up at that time. And you don't show up just going through the motions. You show up ready to go, fully intending to carry out whatever service or product that you're trying to deliver. You're carrying that out to its maximum potential. People are going to want real. They're going to want authenticity. They're going to want there, and they're probably, here's some of the things that will happen is there'll probably be more scrutiny of you and what you're offering or the messaging that you're putting out to the world. There's going to be more scrutiny there. So you're going to have to figure out a way to get above that. And it really comes back to the basics of building a business, which is having relationships, and those relationships, again, being authentic, true relationships. It's not all about the business, but it's actually because you care about the people that you're serving. It's actually that you care enough about your product and how the product works and impacts the consumer experience. They're wanting and seeking that. And so if you're concerned about AI, yes, absolutely. I think you need to be concerned about it. I think you need to be watching it very closely. I think there are some really good things that it can do for the content builders out there. Put the things in your own words, maybe run it through and see what the output is. And that was a test I did yesterday. And this came up in our conversation, was that I was talking about having joy in your business and the difference between joy and happiness. And I believe joy is something that in my spiritual life comes from God. It's supplied to us by the Holy Spirit. And so I wrote that in my original post and content, and I just wanted to test it to see what ChatGPT would spit out. So I asked it to rewrite the content and copied and pasted it in there. And it came back and it said, it took out the word God and Holy Spirit and it replaced it with a higher power. Now, you're sitting here listening and saying, and especially if you're a believer in God, is that you're saying, well, God is a higher power. And yes, that's true. The Holy Spirit is a power that is extraordinary. Yet to me, the danger in that was the change in the words. Instead of it saying God, instead of it saying the Holy Spirit, it said a higher power. And so, going through the rest of the post, yeah, it sounded pretty much like what I was writing, maybe wrote it a little bit better. But I began to notice in the content some of the things that began to not sound like me, maybe the words that I used, maybe the style of writing that I write in. It didn't sound like me. And so for me personally, I'm looking at moving away from the artificial intelligence. I don't think it's 100% evil, but I do see the ramifications of becoming 100% dependent on it. Everybody's going to be a coach by tomorrow, because they don't have to necessarily think like a coach. They can go out there and create, ask ChatGPT to create questions or content in and related around coaching. Yet that doesn't replace the experience that a coach like me has, where I've actually been in the trenches. I've sold homes. I've worked in leadership roles. I've worked with people. I've worked in the real world. And I think that's going to be one of the things that we have to sort out as we go forward in time, is that we may be hiring somebody within a particular service industry expecting a certain level of service. And on the surface, everything looks great. Everything looks like, wow, this person is amazing. Yet, when we remove the emperor's clothes, we realize that this person has no experience, that they're depending heavily on things like ChatGPT to create their content, or maybe even their value system, or you look at their website and it looks beautiful and everything looks like it's picture perfect, yet the person that's operating behind it is very surface level in what they're able to provide. And so I just wanted to share this with you today. I think it's an important conversation to have. And I think there's hope in it. There's hope in knowing that we're going to get back to a place where I think people want the personal relationship. They want the personal touches. My coach had said, the touches you should be making are the ones that are the inconvenient touches, the one that take more time, the handwriting the letter, or creating a personalized video to send to somebody for, to let them know happy birthday, or, driving and going somewhere and having lunch, or going to a networking event to be able to shake hands. Yeah, we can network on social media, but it's not the same. And so I think there's hope in that. And for those that are craving that, it's coming. And if it's not coming soon, it's going to come soon. I really do feel that way. And so if you're craving that authenticity, if you're craving that, the person being genuine, you're craving that person that truly has the experience in what they're providing. You might have to ask a lot more questions. You might have to be a little bit more skeptical and dig a little deeper, but there are going to be business owners that cling on to this and realize that is what the consumer wants. They want real, they want authentic, they want somebody that's a human being to connect with versus a machine. Is AI out of the box? Yeah, I believe it's out of the box. Pandora's box has been opened. You've got the person that's running, ChatGPT, the largest and probably most known AI company, saying, hey, we got to pump the brakes. You have people like Elon Musk that was there at the beginning of creating AI saying, hey, we need to pump the brakes. You have Steve Wozniak of Google and these great companies, Larry Page, which I read an article the other day, that guy's like disappeared. They don't even know where he is. I'm not sure if that's real or not, but something I need to dig into more. But you have all these people. And by the way, Larry Page said he wanted to create a digital god. That to me is really scary and concerning. So I think we need to take heed in that. We have some of the people that are pioneers in this industry saying, hey, we need to slow down. We need to pull back, pump the brakes. Could be really damaging. The other thing that I got from our conversation yesterday is if you have something else creating everything, let's say you're a content builder, a lot of content creators, a lot of us are in the business of content creating, right? Even pastors are in the business of content creating. But let's say you depended on or got lazy, depending on AI and things like ChatGPT to write out all your content. I think for the purposes of the soul, the person is that the passion is no longer there. And when you strip out passion, there's a lot of things that could happen there. Is that the work ethic maybe goes away, right? We become more lazier. We tend not to strive for more. We don't have to, is because we could be dependent on something else that can do it for us. And when you start removing the passion from the person, I think it degrades us as a human being. It makes us not as useful. And I don't want to dive into the politics or left or right, but it gives the government the ability to control people because they're not thinking anymore for themselves. And so I think that's probably one of the most dangerous parts of people relying heavily on artificial intelligence, is that it's removing the passion from the person. It's removing their purpose. They're waking up in the morning and knowing that a lot of this can be done for them. And I think that can be the most dangerous part of what artificial intelligence being pushed onto our society, pushed into the entrepreneur realm. I think that's where we have to be on guard and stand at the wall to protect. So not to create fear today, yet to speak a message of hope. Is people want real, people want authentic, and in that we should have hope. So if you have any questions about this or would like to talk to me more about the coaching services that I offer through Red Hawk Coaching, getting to work with some of the top people in their respected industries, helping them have breakthroughs, helping them move towards their goals, and going on and forward from this point, helping them to build something that's real and authentic. I want you to reach out to me and book a call. You can go to www.redhawkcoaching.com. Again, that's redhawkcoaching.com. And there you can book an appointment with me and we can talk more about your current state of your business and maybe give you some strategies around what you could do to have a breakthrough immediately. And then also share with you what coaching could do for your business. That's of interest to you. If you want to take it to the next level, if you don't want to be complacent anymore, visit redhawkcoaching.com and book an appointment today. Thank you for your time here. And until next time, onward and upward.
Thank you for listening to the Survive Scale Soar podcast. If you heard something that made a difference in your life today, share it with someone that might benefit and subscribe so you don't miss the next episode. Learn more about the host of this podcast and coaching services offered by Red Hawk Coaching by visiting www.redhawkcoaching.com.